All right, good morning and welcome to Insurance Careers Month, which is launching in February 2016. This webinar is intended to help give an introductory overview and all of the logistics and coordination items that everyone needs to participate. So our agenda for today is just to go over, like I said, introductions of who is bringing you Insurance Careers Month and an overview of what's involved. We'll give a little bit of the latest stats in terms of the insurance career crisis that we face. We'll do an overview of the month and how we're going to roll this out in phases over the course of 2016. We'll talk a little bit about what we're hoping to get in terms of a commitment from CEOs of all the participating organizations. We'll give a little bit of an industry perspective and social media coordination, which is a key part of Insurance Careers Month. We'll also go over many of the available resources to help you participate and sort of plug into different ways of connecting with young talent, and then we'll have a Q&A session at the end. So Insurance Careers Month is being brought to you by a number of leading organizations. My name is Kirsten Marr, and I work for Valen Analytics, a provider of data and analytics services for the property and casualty industry. But there's a group of companies who have really been working on developing Insurance Careers Month over the course of 2015. Each of the participating organizations and presenters today will introduce themselves when it's their turn to present. So I will go ahead and get started with an overview. Insurance Careers Month is really a grassroots movement that's aimed at collectively spreading the word about what we have to offer in insurance. And we've developed that key message as insurance is the career trifecta. It's stable, it's rewarding, and it's limitless. In terms of our overarching goals, what we're really trying to accomplish is sort of threefold. Number one is to build a coalition using Insurance Careers Month as a catalyst. We'll explain more about that here shortly. I'm hearing some background noise. Yes.
Yes, Kirsten, sorry to interrupt you, but we can only see one slide.
Oh, thank you. Let me... Is that better? Can you see the slide that says overarching goals now?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Sorry about that. Let me just go back very quickly for everyone involved since you missed seeing the slides. Thank you for that, Wendy. So I talked over who the organizations are who are involved, but you couldn't see their logos, so let me just show you that now. Each of the companies listed here will present and introduce themselves during their portion. And as I said, the overview of what we're really trying to do, this is a grassroots movement aimed at delivering the key message that insurance is the career trifecta, stable, rewarding, and limitless. And overarching goals is to build a coalition through Insurance Careers Month using it as a catalyst. And we're going to go into what that means here in just a moment. The second overarching goal is to put a younger face on the industry through millennials who already work in insurance. And the third really is to create that unified voice that's going to help us cut through the clutter of all of the messages that we're inundated with every day and amplify the individual initiatives, programs, coalitions that already exist in insurance trying to solve the talent crisis and strengthen our reach to next generation talent. So the initial interest, we made the announcement in November that we were launching Insurance Careers Month, and we've literally been overwhelmed by both the number of people who have wanted to get and participate, and also just the excitement and all the conversations that we're having with people since we made the announcement. We have about 400 people on our opt-in list from the website that we set up, insurancecareertrifecta.org, which represents about 280 companies. and over 130 of you registered to attend today's webinar. So this is a great way to start. With that, I'm going to hand it over to the Jacobson Group to talk a little bit about the latest research on what we're facing in terms of a talent crisis. Kylie?
Thank you, Kirsten. So my name is Kylie Laxon. I'm with the Jacobson Group, and for those not familiar, we are an insurance-specific search and staffing firm, so we are absolutely living and breathing the current talent crisis with each of you. And we're going to start by discussing the unemployment rate. So this is the latest data according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. These are the numbers as of December. And I want to provide some perspective. Full employment is considered 5.0 to 5.2% unemployment according to the Federal Reserve. So currently, according to the Federal Reserve, the U.S. economy is experiencing full employment, and the insurance industry is significantly below that. So it's a very tight labor market, especially within our industry. That being said, the current unemployment rate for 18 to 29-year-olds is 13.8%, with an additional 1.8 million young adults that are no longer being counted as unemployed because they've simply given up looking for work. So there is a significant talent pool of available millennials for us to reach into. On top of low unemployment rates, there's a number of industry challenges, including the rapidly aging workforce and the lack of interest by millennials in the industry. So I want to first set the stage with some data. The insurance industry currently employs 2.5 million workers, with nearly 400,000 new jobs to be added by 2020. This is about an 18% growth over the next 4 years versus a projected 6.5% growth for the general economy over the next 10 years. So once again, we're seeing significant differences between what we're experiencing in the insurance industry and what's happening in the U.S. economy. The number of insurance professionals that are aged 55 and older has increased 74% in the past 10 years. And if you look at the pie chart that's included, we're seeing about 25% of the insurance workforce falling within that category, which ties into the next statistic that 25% of insurance employees will be nearing retirement by 2018, which poses the question, are you prepared for potentially a quarter of your workforce retiring in 2 years? Probably not, which is likely why you're joining this webinar. Only 27% of insurance professionals are under the age of 35, but millennials make up 34% of the labor force. Once again, we're seeing that disconnect between our industry and the overall economy. Part of the problem is that our industry is experiencing high turnover with millennials. Those that are aged 20 to 24 have an average tenure of only 1.3 years. One thing, though, that is encouraging is that the top industry for millennials right now is healthcare. And the reason is because 46% of millennials want to have a professional impact on the world. So as insurers, we have to stress the societal good and the noble cause of our industry to attract them. Adding to the growing talent crisis is that graduates from risk and insurance programs currently only meet 10 to 15% of industry need. There's only about 40 universities that offer risk and insurance programs, so we simply cannot rely on universities to create the needed talent. We have to be creative with our recruiting efforts and our outreach. And fortunately, you're all taking one step in the right direction today by joining this webinar, and we'll shortly learn a number of fantastic resources at your disposal.
Great, thank you, Kylie. So this is Kirsten again from Valen, and I'm just going to talk through how we have planned the rollout of Insurance Careers Month in phases. You know, we recognize that launching an industry-wide initiative like this takes time to build steam and build momentum, and so we have designed this in a way that we think makes this doable for everyone in their daily job. So we've got some operating principles, which is to start small, to start reasonable, and build this throughout 2016. To make this easy for companies of all sizes to participate, regardless of where you are in terms of developing your own existing talent outreach efforts. You may be at the very beginning, You may have a very sophisticated talent recruitment operation and are in a position to share best practices with your colleagues in the industry. Wherever you are on the spectrum, we have attempted to make this really easy for you to participate. The KISS principle, absolutely. Everybody here has day jobs. This is a volunteer effort by all of us involved. And so every time we make an ask of you, we keep this in mind. How can we keep it simple and yet build the momentum that we're looking for and that the industry needs? And second, this is not about fundraising. As I said in the overview, this is about building a grassroots movement where we can amplify all of the individual efforts that are going on locally and nationally and provide a unified voice to the industry that young people will hear. So the phases. There are 3 phases. The first is to build the coalition between when we announced in November of 2015 and the end of 2016. And so our goals by the end of February was to have at least 200 companies signed on, committed, and participating. And if you think about the numbers that I shared early on, we already have 280 companies signed on to our email list, and so we're well on our way to being able to achieve 200 active participating companies by the end of February, which is great news. By the end of February, we expect to grow the number of CEOs who are championing this effort internally in their organization and even externally with their peers in the industry. And also by the end of the month, we will have completed coordinating social media amongst all of the participating organizations, and we will go through those details here in a moment. And that'll be what we set out to achieve in phase 1. Phase 2 will begin before February is even over, and that's the phase about really engaging millennials. When we look at the statistics that Kylie just shared, and we've all seen the surveys about millennials either not even thinking about insurance as a career or having a negative perception about our industry, we all know that we have a perception issue to address, and it's a meaningful issue. So instead of a big formal ad campaign or anything like that, our approach is to engage millennials who are already working in insurance to be that authentic voice and to start that conversation with their peers and even the generation coming up behind them about their experience working in the industry. Put a younger face on our industry, help them share their own stories, and by September 2016, when folks are back in school, we will launch a millennial-based engagement campaign leading up to our 3rd phase, which is really to go big and to elevate Insurance Careers Month, to have hundreds more companies involved, thousands and thousands of employees, a vibrant month where people have time to really plan their activities for February. This gives everybody participating a great deadline to sort of organize your own efforts, kick them off, each calendar year. And the goal then is that the grassroots movement that we have started sort of takes on a life of its own in local areas and cities in the U.S. and all over the world. So those are the phases as we have them outlined throughout 2016, and we'll ramp at each phase accordingly. So how will we coordinate all of this with so many different companies and thousands of people? And our main coordination tool is going to be the Insurance Career Trifecta site. Right now you'll see a form on there to sign up before you go to the rest of the site. That's because we were focused on building the coalition. We'll start adding more links, more partners, more resources to that as we build all of the partnerships. The email list, the form that most of you will have filled out already to get invited to this webinar, is a key way that we will keep everybody connected, updated, and participating in all of the key dates and deadlines and activities. We will host conference calls and webinars like the one that we're having today at different points along the way to keep everybody moving in the same direction, on the same page. And we may find key events where we can get together in person and meet each other and continue the planning and idea sharing and brainstorming, and we'll let that sort of develop over time. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Wendy Davis-Johnson from Hamilton to talk about the C-suite influence. Wendy?
Thank you, Kirsten. I was just unmuting us. Appreciate all that has been said. And one thing I would add is I have 10 people sitting with me in Bermuda. And while the talent crisis that we are outlining is in the most immediate moment an issue for the U.S., what happens in the U.S. market obviously impacts the Bermuda market and our colleagues at Lloyd's. So Hamilton is committed right across the organization, and particularly with the sanction of our CEO, Brian Dupereau, to support and enable and promote this initiative in any way we can to really be effective in addressing really what is a dire need as far as the developing workforce for the industry is concerned. So having said that, if you could, there, thanks so much, Kirsten. So we have a number of objectives in engaging our CEOs, and this has been led specifically by Brian Dupereau. He feels very strongly that this is an important initiative, and he also feels very strongly that it should be driven by the millennials who are in the industry already, but he understands, and we have all agreed, that the only way that's going to happen is if there is sanction and support from the CEOs at the highest level throughout the organization. So Brian has reached out to his colleagues and in the first instance has engaged several of them to help increase the number of CEOs who are participating, to leverage their voices, to get the attention of the key media who will help to give this campaign some legs, to work with HR and communications personnel through the organization to say, look, this is important, to get on board, put a program in place across the company that will support the initiative, and to really see alignment through the companies who are participating so we get some gravitas as well as critical mass in what we're doing. So it started with an open letter to the industry signed by Brian, Inga Beale, CEO at Lloyd's, and Dan Glazier, President and CEO at Marsh & McLennan. And the message was, this is an issue. They cited the statistics that you've heard today. That everyone is taking it very seriously. We have a great cross-representation of the industry with those CEOs. It's an international representation. And the call was, let's really focus on this initial first step in February, keeping in mind that we have a longer-term goal of really reaching out and creating actually a millennial army marching into the schools and campuses across the U.S. and other places that are spreading the word, saying, look, you know, this is a great industry to be a part of. It's stable, it's rewarding, it's limitless, and you really should join us. Come on board because we love it. The second part of this is going to be a video message that individually Brian, Inga, and Dan, joined by Mike McGavick, so each of them has recorded a video message which will be released as a part of other communications on February 1st, the start of Insurance Careers Month. And the message there is, here we are, we're ready to go. More of us, more of you CEOs, please join us. This is a wonderful, exciting opportunity for us to spread the word about the best career you've never heard of. And we're hoping that will get a lot of pickup, a lot of media coverage, and then get embedded in a variety of different communications vehicles that will be outlined later in this presentation. So as far as next steps are concerned and what you can do, those of you who are on the call and those who will participate later, make sure your CEO really does understand this initiative and the purpose of it, that it really is a critical inflection point for our industry. And encourage your CEO, encourage he or she to record a video and post it and promote it with the Career Trifecta hashtag and others that are outlined in the social media resource guide. And then working with your CEO and human resources and communications personnel, put a plan in place to generate awareness and support throughout your organization so we really have an aligned, integrated, industry-wide beginning to our campaign that will, you know, gain its legs as we go along.
Thank you, Wendy. That was really helpful. As Wendy said, this is, we think, a great way to, if you're going to build a grassroots movement, create excitement around it, and it's a pretty simple ask for the CEO just to champion it within your teams. We are going to hand it over to Brooke Kelly-Hunt from PCI to talk about the whole amplifying the message portion. So, Brooke, I'll hand it to you.
Thanks, Kirsten. Hello, my name is Brooke Kelly-Hunt. I'm the Public Affairs Director with the Property Casualty Insurers Association of America, or PCI. PCI represents more than 1,000 property and casualty member companies. We represent the broadest cross-section of insurers of any national trade association, and we're proud to take on this initiative and very supportive of Insurance Careers Month. As we know, this is something our companies and CEOs are particularly very interested in. To attract millennials into the insurance industry, insurers really need to better tell their story about the growing importance of technology and analytics. Millennials also need to be aware of how insurers are using social media and how they're innovating new solutions to really meet the demands of things such as cybersecurity, green technology, the sharing economy, and other emerging trends. So these are some statistics. Social media is a big part of millennials' lifestyle. These statistics will really put it into perspective of how often millennials are engaging on social media. More than 85% of millennials in the U.S. own smartphones. Millennials touch their smartphones on average of 45 times a day. Between the ages of 18 and 29, which is really that millennial age group, 87% are on Facebook, 53% on Instagram, 37% on Twitter, and 34% on Pinterest. So millennials are not just virtually connected via social networks, that they really do value the role that they play in their communities. For instance, high school seniors today are more likely than previous generations to state that making a contribution to society is really very important to them and that they want to be leaders in their communities. These stats show that millennials are engaged on social media more than any other generation and that they care about the work that they do. 5 out of 6 millennials in the U.S. connect with their companies on social media networks. So for the insurance industry, social media is a great way for our industry to capture the attention of millennials. We can share our stories on social media and really encourage job seekers to look at the insurance industry as an option and see that it really truly is a rewarding and noble career. So next slide, we've put together a social media packet that has suggested tweets and Facebook posts already created, really highlighting articles and resources for Insurance Careers Month and suggested hashtags. This is just a social media guide to help you get started and potential handles to follow throughout the month and as we continue this initiative. We're using a variety of hashtags to enter conversations already happening, but we also ask you to use hashtag Career Trifecta to unify our message. We all know the industry is stable, rewarding, and a limitless career. We've also designated Tuesdays as hashtag Talent Tuesday, where we encourage you to use the hashtag to be a part of the conversation, to put it into your social media calendars and add for your marketing tools. This is not just for the month of February. We hope that this will be a long-standing, successful collaboration. And so just to really recap the messaging tools, Insurance Careers Month logo, please feel free to use that for the month of February and prior. Hashtag Career Trifecta, hashtag Talent Tuesday, those are 2 hashtags that we encourage you to use. This is a grassroots movement, and what we want is for each company to promote their own content and stories and events, and to know that they have the entire insurance community behind them to share their message, and social media is a great way to do that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I would be happy to walk you through that social media guide and help you with any social media best practices or any questions that you might have. Thank you again for your time, and Kirsten, I'll just turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Okay, so now in this final section, we're going to provide an overview of some of the tools that can help you get started if you're really just beginning your journey into reaching next generation talent. And we have 2 of the leading organizations that are providing freely available resources and guides and direction and for you in MyPath and in Invest. And so first we will get started with MyPath. Take it away, Jessica.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. My name is Jessica Gaudio, and I am Director of MyPath for the Institute. For those not familiar with MyPath, several years ago, the Institute was selected by the industry to lead a collaborative industry-wide effort to really educate and excite students and young professionals about the limitless opportunities a career in insurance can offer. So with that, it really does act as a clearinghouse of information where students can gain an increased understanding of these opportunities, but also everything that the industry has to offer. We know that with the impending talent challenge that the real solution is going to be, as we said, amplifying and aggregating the industry efforts through one unified voice, everything that's already being done, and that's really what MyPath is geared to do. So in terms of the month itself, we have compiled a resource guide, the group involved in organizing this, to assist you throughout Insurance Careers Month. That was included in the welcome email you would have received when you signed up, and it includes links to all of the different tools and resources we're going to be talking about, as well as different ideas. It's really going to serve as that easy button to present these resources at your disposal, but also, again, how you might be able to connect directly with the next generation of talent. As we've talked about, it's really important that we make sure to start small and make sure that everyone involved feels that they have ideas and opportunities to leverage the tools, resources, activities that you're already involved in to really amplify, this. So one idea that is included in the resource guide is to revamp your internship program. We know that internships are a great way to connect with young people. Those who are exposed to the industry through internships are more likely to move forward and enter the industry. So given that, you may want to consider giving your internship program a facelift, meaning enhance it and see what more you might be able to accomplish through that. Given that, MyPath has compiled a list of internship best practices, and included in that document there's tips geared towards all audiences. So whether you're a company, a student, a college, or an association, you can find the best practices and tips geared towards you. There's everything from recruiting suggestions to work assignments. For example, under the company focus best practice, you'll see that a really important piece is just making sure you're assigning meaningful work. Young people, millennials, they want to feel that they are making a difference and understand how the work that they're doing impacts not only the company in a meaningful way, but also customers. Another great idea is to connect with the colleges and other networking organizations in your communities and local areas to exhibit at a career fair or local job fair. Invest has a resource center to help prepare for that, and they'll be speaking to that in a moment. But also MyPath has developed a variety of print brochures to help assist you in your conversations. For example, you'll see here a picture of our most recent brochure, Uncovering Career Paths in the Risk Management and Insurance Industry. And this guide really mirrors the career assessment that's available on the website for students, in that it will show what careers might be a good fit for you based on your interests and skills. Not only is this available in the resource guide for Insurance Career Month, it's also available on the MyPath platform at insuremypath.org. You can find that under the Explore tab. There's an industry resource and tools section. So along with this brochure, the Internship Best Practice Guide, there's also other career assessment tools provided by our partners that contribute to the site. And this is a great way to, again, have some tangible resources to provide to students as you're speaking to them. And we've talked a lot about social media, tweeting and sharing posts, being active on Twitter and other sites that millennials frequent, but also understand how young people are using these sites. For some research that we did, we found that many millennials do most of their job seeking activity on LinkedIn, whereas they ask more for help and advice on Twitter. So tailoring your messaging to work with what millennials are using these sites for. We've talked about one, following that hashtag career trifecta, which is going to be the centralized hashtag for the month. And again, that trifecta focuses or invokes feelings that the insurance industry is limitless. It's the career trifecta. It's limitless, rewarding, and stable. But also publish those posts, include it in the social media guide, and write your own posts with that hashtag, and we'll share your content. You can follow all of the organizing partners throughout their social media outlets to be able to just make sure that you're amplifying the messages that are already out there as well. I know MyPath will also be posting shareable, relevant content throughout the month that you can feel free to reuse. Another idea that you can use is just to create success stories and speak with your employees and others within your organization to gain testimonials that you can share via social media and other outlets. From the feedback we've received from young people, they really do want to hear those personal stories about how you make a difference in your job every day, why you love your careers. That really makes a difference. Through, again, the research that we completed in developing MyPath, we know that millennials are looking for careers that allow them to make a difference in their communities, provide them that opportunity to help people, offer flexibility and a work-life balance, but also ensure that job availability and stability. All things that we know the insurance industry provides, we just have to make sure that they're aware of this. And it's a great way to tailor, if you take into some of that research, to tailor, if you're not sure where to start in your testimonials, you can tailor them to what millennials are looking for in a career if you need some ideas on where to get started. In terms of creating and sharing that relevant content and testimonials, MyPath also introduced blog articles earlier this year, which have been very successful. There's a blog section on the website, and there are articles geared not only to millennials and students, but also the industry that provide content such as tips for talking about your insurance career and other useful information around this issue. Another great thing about our blogs is that you can sign up to be a guest blogger and actually be featured on the site. So when you're thinking about those stories you want to share, the career tips, your own professional path, or other, again, inspirational stories about how you made a difference, if you can, you're welcome to submit that on the site under the MyPath guest blog section. Write the article, we'll get it approved, and we'll get it published on the site. An example of that, we actually had a young millennial who signed up for a guest blog recently. He wrote an article, he's in the industry, he wrote an article on 4 things to do as a college freshman to guarantee you a job. It was wildly successful. It has just a great example that these young people really want to hear from the real people, especially those young people already in the industry. This next slide is just some examples of the different content available through the MyPath blog that you're welcome to share and leverage however works best for you. And again, we'll be submitting and posting a lot of new content throughout the month, so definitely keep posted if you need some ideas on content. Thank you again.
Thank you. Jennifer from Invest?
Yes, thank you. I'm Jennifer Andriani with Invest, which provides insurance education and career training to young people. And just as MyPath mentioned, we also have made available resources to help those involved with Insurance Careers Month promote insurance careers to millennials and also implement recruitment programs at their companies or agencies. First, if you're planning on attending a career fair at a local high school or college, or perhaps you're speaking to millennials about careers in another format, you can head to the Invest website and download for free PowerPoint presentations that walk through insurance careers and go into detail highlighting the exciting aspects of insurance careers, including the stable, rewarding, and flexible career options our industry has to offer. You can also find videos to show millennials about the various careers or exciting aspects of insurance. You can also download flyers to distribute to millennials about insurance careers that provide more information. You'll see here on the right-hand side of your screen what the front of one of those flyers looks like. If you're looking to implement a more robust recruiting program, we also have job shadow and internship step-by-step guides to help you implement such programs at your company or agencies. These guides include everything from what you would have the intern or shadow accomplish day to day to checklists, evaluations, and any legal concerns you might want to take into consideration. You can even post your internship for free on the Insurance Career Center located within the Invest website that's promoted to Invest schools and also universities with risk management degrees across the nation. You can also find drop-in articles you're able to download and use within your company or agency newsletters or even your intranet to encourage others to get involved with recruiting millennials. Can you advance the next slide? Thank you. If you head to investprogram.org and click on professionals, then resources, or you can type in the URL exactly how you see on the screen, you'll find the resources I just mentioned located on this section of our website. This is just a portion of the page you're seeing here. There are many more resources available than what's pictured. Everything without a key icon is located next to it is available for instant download. Next slide, please. Thank you. If you're looking for more information on the web to point millennials to, you can also head to our homepage, investprogram.org, which is focused to young people. You'll see there is a lot of information to provide millennials about careers, jobs, and internships, as well as just basic insurance information. Specifically, if you go to the Career Paths tab, millennials can explore even more information about careers. Once you get into the Career Paths page, there is a variety of options for young people to explore careers available. Because someone without any insurance knowledge wouldn't know what a producer, CSR, or even an actuary, to name a few, would be, we've listed the careers as the top trait of that particular career. Next slide, please. Perhaps someone clicked on the sales and marketing as their desired career trait. It would then direct them to this page, which explains what an insurance agent does, their education level needed, and any licenses or designations they need. Also the average salary of that position, and also videos that pertain to that particular career. If you look on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see all of the careers we cover. Again, listing the careers initially under the main trait or skill of that particular career. Then once the person clicks on it, they'll discover the actual name of that particular position. Millennials can also click on colleges and training to find risk management schools near them, or they can find more information about licensing and designations in their particular state. That's all from Invest. Back to you, Kirsten.
Thank you. In addition to, thanks to both MyPath and Invest, they just have a wealth of information and tools that you can access right away to help you get started. We also have a growing list of partners and local programs that are on the Insurance Career Trifecta website. We expect this area of the site to grow dramatically over the course of 2016. Part of what we're hoping to provide to the insurance community is just a way to link to national programs, to local programs in your area, and make it easy for you to connect. And so you will see on the Insurance Career Trifecta site, CAS, and IASA and the Ohio Insurance Institute are actually great examples for those of you on the phone who maybe run a local program or fit more of the partner scope in terms of participating. Those organizations are using Insurance Careers Month to bolster their own programs. So CAS, which is Society of Actuaries, they have a robust student and young talent program, and they're using Insurance Careers Month really to gain momentum and more participation for their membership, right? It acts as a deadline and a catalyst to get more energy and excitement for what's going on nationally and locally in your area. IASA, similar. They have a lot of local chapters, and they engage with young talent in those chapters, and so they can use this month really to focus on that segment of their audience and have robust personal connections, etc. And Ohio Insurance Institute actually has a whole campaign that they already have scheduled for February, so Insurance Careers Month lines up perfectly with what they're already planning to do, and we'll see a lot from them coming in the month of February. Vertifor has a lot of great research. They do an annual millennial research study focused on insurance, millennials already working in the industry, so as we want to engage them, they will help us understand more about what millennials working in insurance are thinking and caring about today. Change the Equation is a national organization that really helps companies connect with STEM talent, science, technology, engineering, and math. So you're looking for your data scientists, your actuaries, your predictive analytics staff, your IT. They have a whole suite of programs that you can check out, resources to help you figure out where to participate as a corporation. That's what they do. And anyway, so if you go to the site now, I mentioned it at the beginning, you're just going to see a form there because we've been focused on building the coalition. Before February 1st, you'll see us change that homepage of the site, and we will be linking to all these different pages. We have linked to them in the emails that we've sent you, and we will again when we send the recording of this webinar later this week. So you'll get access to that straight away. We'll also have the logo and everything else that you're going to need, but if you're going to that page right now, you're still seeing that form. That will change here in the next couple of weeks. All right, so next steps. Summary. What we've sort of covered today. We've covered the point of Insurance Careers Month is really to start that grassroots movement, that 2016 is a year to build the coalition, mobilize insurance millennials to be our younger face, and to start that authentic conversation with their peers. And hopefully you see that we are trying to make this very accessible for companies of all sizes to participate, and we definitely want the message to resonate that everyone is welcome to participate in this movement. Your next steps. Really is to figure out your 2016 game plan to engage local talent using the freely available resources at your disposal. We've gone over a number of them today. We will resend you the resource guide that you can download, which has a lot of this information in it, so you can have it right at your fingertips. And then as we build out the Insurance Career Trifecta site with all the partners and local initiatives, it'll be a great place where you can connect with things that resonate for you. Your other next step is to make the simple ask of your CEO to help champion this internally and build momentum and excitement within your own organizations. And determine what you can share during the month of February. What social media content can you share? You can certainly leverage what we have in our social media guide, but what is your unique story? What is your unique post that you want to put out? As Brooke explained through Talent Tuesdays, we're claiming that day of the week so that it's easy for everyone in a communications or marketing role to be looking for talent content on Tuesdays, and collectively we're promoting each other's content out there, again, to get through the clutter and to amplify our message and to resonate with young people. So figure out how you want to participate in Talent Tuesdays. That is not just for the month of February, that is year-round. Of course, it will probably have a lot of activity at certain parts of the year, like February, like the fall, but every single week we're claiming Talent Tuesdays. The Insurance Careers Month logo, we will send it to you in a follow-up, the link to it when we send the recording. Please post that logo on your website, on your social media during the month of February. And stay connected to the coalition as we ramp this up. Share your ideas, share how you want to collaborate. This is meant to be a collective effort, and we're excited to have everyone's perspective to really make this something spectacular. With that, I'll give everyone just a moment. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer them. So we'll just pause here for a moment and let you put any questions you have into your chat screen. All right, I have several questions that I'll go ahead and start reading, and if you have any others, please go ahead and type them in. So someone's asking if you can get access to the slide printouts for sharing with the C-suite. Absolutely. We'll send a link to the recording, the slides, the logos, all of the materials. You will get that probably Thursday of this week, so be on the lookout for that. Some others are just saying loving the idea of getting millennials to be the face of the industry, so we're glad that that resonates with you as well. Someone also is asking for Talent Tuesday, are we looking for stories from millennials already in the business or something else? Yes, exactly. We are looking for stories from millennials already in insurance who can share their story. And you can also share other content and tips from your company, but that is the phase 2 between February and the fall, is really to mobilize the millennials working in insurance to be the face of the industry, to share their own experiences as the best way to sort of counter the perception that insurance doesn't have what young people are looking for. So yeah, you got that exactly right. And more people just asking if we'll send everything out. Yes, we will. And then a question, how do you suggest we approach our CEOs and how much time would we require of them? Wendy, do you want to take that one?
Yes. I'm sorry. Technology is defeating me. And I should have introduced myself. I apologize. I'm Wendy Davis Johnson, Chief Communications Officer at Hamilton Insurance Group. We're headquartered in Bermuda. The CEO involvement is so critical, and I've been very lucky in that our CEO, Brian Dupereau, immediately understood that this is something that he needed to support, and that it wasn't going to work if companies' senior management wasn't behind it. As we all know, that's a really critical aspect of being successful in introducing something important throughout an organization. So I would think that we have statistics, we have all the wonderful information that has been produced, and the resources that have been produced by Invest and MyPath and the various companies who presented on the call today to be used. But also, I would cite that Brian and Inga Beal and Dan Glazier and Mike McGavick are throwing their weight behind this to the fullest extent. They believe in it. They have set aside time to promote it and participate in the activities that we've lined up in the early stages. And I think those are 4 exemplary leaders in our industry that I think any CEO would feel, well, if they're behind it, then it's worth paying attention to. So I think that that's a good start anyway. And if there's any difficulty, I'm sure that the team who's been behind the organization can provide support as well. It might be that Brian and Inga and Dan and Mike start twisting a few arms. I don't know, but I don't think it'll be too hard to get the rest of the CEO leaders in the industry behind this. It's gathering some exciting momentum.
It is, and I think the letter, the open letter that was published, that we'll send a link to again, that you can download, that's from Brian and Inga and Dan. It's a great thing to show to your CEO. I mean, it's just an easy way, along with, like Wendy said, all the other materials. All right, someone's asking if you know people that you feel would be good volunteers, how do we feed them in? We will include our email addresses in the follow-up communication, so you can feel free to have them reach out to any of us. And someone's also asking about going to a college career fair, any collateral I can bring. Yes, both MyPath and Invest walks through some of the collateral that they have on their site. So if you go to the links that they sort of talked about and just go to their site, you can find materials that you can bring pointed at college career fair. And then someone else saying, just a comment, we need to explain the additional social benefits to this career other than health insurance, such as resiliency, agility. Insurance is the oxygen to all business, and we need to better communicate these social benefits by choosing this career. That's a great comment, and I think that for us is the point about why we want to show that to young people by having millennials tell that story. They'll tell so many facets, right, beyond the unified kind of umbrella message that we have around the career trifecta. That's a great slogan. It's a great way to unify what we're saying. But that individual nuance and all of these different benefits we think is best going to come from young people who are experiencing that and can share their stories. That's a great point. And someone's also just talking about other organizations that might want to participate. We absolutely want to grow the list of partnering organizations and list them on the site and have them involved. And so when you get our follow-up email, please feel free to connect them with any of us, and we'll make sure that that happens. All right. It looks like we have answered, unless there are other questions, answered most of the questions today. Again, I want to thank you for staying on joining the call and wanting to participate. This is great engagement, and we're really excited to kick this off. Be on the lookout in your email for follow-up information, and if you have any questions, you'll have our information, and you can reach out to us, and we're happy to answer those questions. So for all of us organizing Insurance Careers Month, thank you, and let's look forward to the launch. Have a great day. Bye-bye.